succulent growers, it's Lynn. And in today's video, I'm very excited to be sowing some awesome Euphorbia Obesa with Symmetrica seeds that were sent to my wonderful partner Hans, who won a fantastic photo competition giveaway from the amazing Daz and Edith at Cacti Mania here on YouTube. And Hans was very lucky. His photo was picked as the winner on Cacti Mania's incredible photo competition. And he won some incredible seeds and also a funky cactus t-shirt, gorgeous cactus book, as well as some amazing cactus pegs and lovely music note and guitar pins as well from the amazing Daz and Edith at Cacti Mania. So thank you guys so much for the competition. And we've got a few different seeds that Hans won, and we're going to be sowing them in the spring. But the reason why I wanted to sow these Euphorbia Obesa with Symmetrica seeds today is because these are Euphorbia seeds don't stay as viable as cactus seeds do. Cactus seeds can stay viable up to several years or even longer, up to a decade. But with Euphorbia seeds, they do lose their viability as the months go on. And these were seeds that Daz has very successfully pollinated from his own plants, had great success with pollinating them and getting seeds. And he's also got incredible seedlings himself from these plants, from these seeds. And do go over to Daz's amazing YouTube channel, Cacti Mania, Daz and Edith's YouTube channel, and check out the incredible videos he's got on there. Daz is an incredible videographer, video maker, and he's got some great series of videos on these euphorbias that he's pollinated himself, including a really good pollination video, as well as the seedlings and transplanting them as well. So Daz and Edith, very excited to be sowing these seeds. So I said to Hans this morning, I said, do you mind if I sow these seeds? Because they need to be sown, and I'll do a little video. And I'll do an update video when they germinate as well. As you can see here, Daz has put here, Euphorbia bees are crossed with Symmetrica, a few months old, but hopefully they still germinate. So it's important these are done. Now, I normally sort of wait till the spring to sow a lot of seeds, but because here in my office I have grow lights and it's also warm as well in this room, there'll be no problem putting these under the lights, and they should germinate at this time of year as well. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about the procedure that I'm going to be doing. But first of all, I'm going to show you these other little Euphorbia seedlings that I grown from seed a couple of years ago. Now these are Euphorbia Phosphorea Pteroneura. And there's two little cuties there. I sowed the seed of these back in September 2020. So they're about 2.5 years old, little sweeties. And these seeds were gifted to me by my friend Natalie in Dublin. And I sowed quite a few seeds, and I had 5 that germinated, but only these 2 survived long term. And the reason for that is that when I sowed these seeds, I put them in the baggies, which is the normal method I usually do with a lot of my cactus and succulent seeds. But the difference is with Euphorbia seeds is that once they have germinated, they don't like to be kept in 100% humidity. And I was sort of new to growing Euphorbia seeds, so a lot of them died off. I learnt that afterwards. Managed to save these 2, and they're still small, but they're doing well. You can see a little leaf growing on that one there. Really, really cute. So obviously with these seeds here, normally when I sow cactus and succulent seeds, I do use the baggies and I sterilise the soil and everything. But I've done something a little bit different with these. I've got here a little container, one of these little click lock containers, clear. And I've also wrote down on there, Euphorbia Obesa Symmetrica, sown January 2023 in Daz and Edith from Cacti Mania there. And I've got a little hole at the top of there as well. And what I'm going to be doing when these germinate, I'm actually going to remove the lid instead of keeping the lid on or keeping them in a baggie like I normally would, because I mentioned Euphorbia seedlings, once they do germinate, do like more air. They don't like to be kept in 100% humidity, as I learned with these when I sowed these. So that's why I've got a little clip lock instead of the usual baggie method I use. I'm going to be removing that once they've germinated. And these are the seeds, very exciting. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the soil mix and what I've done here with the soil. Now I've used 3 equal parts of a seed sowing soil. In this case I've used John Innes, mixed with grit and mixed with sand at 3 equal parts. You can use any type of well-draining sort of cactus soil for sowing cactus and succulent seeds, or you can make your own, such as I have. The most important thing that it's well-draining. And then I soaked, once I put the soil in here, I actually soaked them in, I put some water in the bottom of this container here and let the soil completely soak up the soil. So let the soils completely soak up the water so it's completely uniformly moist all the way through. And that means now when I sprinkle the seeds on, I can then spray them with a bit of water and then put the lid on. So just going to take this, actually I'll probably keep this in there because if any of the seeds fall in, then I can see them in the container. Now I'm going to put the seeds on. Now I just want to mention, if you're using your hands when you're sowing seeds, it's really important that your hands are very clean. So I've thoroughly washed my hands here so you're not spreading any type of virus or anything like that, or disease or anything that could be from your hands onto the seeds. So it's good to have it as clean as possible. And then these are lovely big seeds, as you can see, so it's going to be easy to pop these on. I've got one of these little prodders. I may not need it because the seeds are large. There's about 30, I think it's 32 seeds here, so it's going to be really exciting. And just pop it on there. And obviously when you're sowing seeds, you want to make sure that you don't put them all too close together. It's good to spread them out so when they do germinate, they've got plenty of space to grow. And if you do have any that's a little bit too close, you just spread it apart there. I'm going to sprinkle a tiny little bit of soil as well on the top of this. Because sometimes if seeds, such as some seeds, some cactus and succulent seeds can be very fine like dust. And then if that's the case, I don't usually have to cover them, but these are quite nice and large. Like I say, I have no idea if they're going to germinate. Daz has had great success with his, but it all depends, obviously, on how they do for me. And I will do an update in the future. And seeds, euphorbia seeds, can take anything from a couple of weeks to a month or two to germinate. And obviously at this time of year, it is winter time, but I'm going to be putting them under the grow lights. So, and it's nice and warm in my office. I wouldn't, if you don't have any grow lights, you don't have anywhere particularly warm, I would probably suggest waiting until the spring when things warm up and the days start to get longer with the light. So I just want to mention these are spread out a bit so they're not too close together. You probably won't find all of them will germinate, but you never know, it'd be great. So if they do, I want to make sure that they're spread out a little. I'm going to push them in a little bit with the dabber. And I've made a video on how to grow cactus from seed, including the succulents. But as I say, it's a different method here with euphorbias because they don't like to be kept in the high humidity once they've germinated. So the lid's going to be coming off this. And what I'm going to be doing here then is just sprinkling a tiny little bit of soil over the top just to cover them. You can use anything. They could use grit at the top as well, or anything to sand or anything to cover them. Now that's the seeds all covered, and then what I'm going to do now is just spray them with a bit of water on the top to make sure that they're all thoroughly moist. There, good spraying, and keeping them in this little container then will help to keep the humidity. They like to have, you know, as much humidity as possible when they are germinating, and that's why this little lid on this is going to help keep the humidity in. But once they've germinated, as I say, I should be removing the lid. Woohoo! And I've got a little hole at the top there. And also I meant to say I've got holes in the bottom also of this. So Euphorbia Obesa, times Symmetrica, sown January 2023 from Daz and Edith at Cacti Mania. So do stay tuned for an update on these guys. And now I'm going to put these under the grow lights. Ooh, that's the seeds there in their new place, and I've got them under the grow light, not too close to the grow light. That's one of our Spider Farmer grow lights there, and it's a little bit away from the grow light because it's when you're germinating seeds, they don't want to be under intense strong sun or heat either. They do need heat to germinate, but if they're too close to grow lights, they can, when they do germinate, they can get a little bit red. So this is a good location for them there, as you can see, nicely lit up. And do stay tuned for some updates. Whether they germinate or not, I'll update you anyway. And I hope you enjoyed the little video, and thanks so much Daz and Edith at Cacti Mania again, and we're looking forward to sowing all the other seeds in the springtime. And thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you haven't done already, please do subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification bell. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook at Desert Plants of Avalon. And for more growing tips as well as regular articles, do please check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. I want to wish you all a fantastic plant-powered day.